get a full...
Bonjour, Montreal.
So the first question is about poutine. It's always about poutine. Have you tried poutine? Cameron, you're from here.
Of course.
You've had poutine.
Yeah. As for breakfast, every morning, I think.
He probably has the ice cream version of it too.
I will have to try that.
You will.
Everyone, it's Cameron's first panel. I'm a little nervous.
Let's not be gentle with him. Great, so I'm going to start off warming up some questions and then we're going to take some questions from the audience. So, the show, when was the show cast? In 2017 or 16, 17?
Yeah.
All right, next question.
I sent a tape in. When was that? Yeah, it was around the end of 2017. Yeah.
So that was going to be my question. How did you guys do the whole process? Did they call you or you had to send a tape?
Well, we had to do a self-tape. Well, I did a self-tape. I wasn't able to go in and actually do the audition in front of the casters, but I did send in a self-tape, so that's how I did that.
Yeah, I was the same, MC Cliff. I was the same. And they liked the tape and they were like, will you do it? Do you want to do it? And then we sort of argued with them for a while about certain things. And actually, I was in Malaga in a bull ring when I accepted the job, which is pretty cool. But I wasn't watching real bullfighting, everyone. I was watching fake bullfighting because we were making 10. If anyone's worried about the bull in my story.
Worried about you standing in front of a bull in your story. If you could play any role other than the ones that you're playing right now, and not even the grown-up versions or the kid versions, on the same show, like I'm gonna let you think about it, which character would you love to, if you, like, it doesn't matter that you're a guy, girl, or whatever, you're white, black, who cares? Which one of the roles would you gravitate towards?
Do you know what, Cameron, let me jump in here first.
Oh dear.
I would love to do, I'm going to put it out there into the ether so that it happens. I want to be the live action version of Earthworm Jim. Aren't we crying out for that?
Do the 20-year-olds know what Earthworm Jim is?
You're about to.
Do you know what Earthworm Jim is? Okay, well, Cameron's cool, so it's all good.
Yeah, I think actually mine would be Spider-Man. I've said this so much. It's just ever since I was a little kid, I've always been a huge fan of Spider-Man, and like Tom Holland does an amazing job. So props to him.
They recast it every 10 minutes, so.
But yeah, if you haven't seen Far From Home, go see that. Amazing movie, by the way. But yeah, Spider-Man, just like, childhood hero, always dressed up as him, had action figures and everything. So,
Did you climb on the furniture, man?
I did. I have a big balcony in my house, so what I would do when my parents weren't around was I would climb up the stairs and then hang from the balcony. I could have died.
Your mom's backstage having a heart attack.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mom, I've never told you that. But yeah, I almost died, but it's cool.
Great. We'll take some questions from the audience. We're going to start on this side over here.
Go.
Please say your name and where you come from. S'il vous plaît, dites votre nom et de quelle ville vous venez, s'il vous plaît.
Hi, I'm a bit nervous because I'm from Brazil. I'm not even from here. English is not my first language. But for the both of you, and then I have one for Robert. Which of the carrots powers would you like to have? And Robert, will Klaus and Ben have a cool handshake now that they can touch?
Oh, we're
No!
We can't talk about season 2. I should have said that from the start. We can't
We're
talk about
hostile dependency. We don't have any secret handshakes. But what was the first bit of the question again?
what power of the carrots would you like to have?
Oh yeah. I like 5 probably. 5 can teleport. Do you know what I mean? And I'm so, no offense, but I hate crowds. I hate airports. So yeah, that would make my life a bit streamlined. But at the same time, we were talking about teleportation and the kind of the effects it would have on your mental health. Because imagine, you know, so much about what makes people happy in a day is the kind of mini journeys that they go on. Do you know what I mean? I'm dirty, have a shower, now I'm clean, you know? Or cook a meal, whatever, small little journeys. And so, if you kind of could teleport, you'd sort of take away the process of life a little bit. So, I might choose teleportation and end up terribly depressed.
I would also choose teleportation, but I would take it because I get to go places, you know, there's so many places that I want to travel to. And I know it puts a lot of stress on Five's body when he teleports or he jumps. But, you know, just to be able to, like you said, get out of crowds and stuff, like, that's awesome. But also, I would really like Vanya's powers. Because if you can control them, I mean, she goes a little bit crazy. I try not to blow up the moon in the process. But if you can control your powers, then I mean, you could get stuff that you can't reach.
How tall are you?
I just hit 5'1". Yeah, but like, the balcony. So, that's what I would
Stay
use.
away from that balcony.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question. And where would you, if you could travel to the past with the teleportation, is there a place or history?
The past. You know, everyone goes, oh, we can go back in the past and see what it was like. It was fucking awful. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was like, people were all... Do you know what I mean? I'm talking like, you know, when when the Enlightenment came around, I mean, like, society was really, really dark. So I'd probably just, I don't know, go to last week or something. No. I'd go, it would be weird, imagine go back and witness your own birth. Would that be... It's like, oh, here I come! Oh!
I think, actually, you know, I went back to medieval times, before the whole population kind of left. But I would go and become a knight if I could.
Knights are cute, apparently.
I want to fight dragons. That's what I'm going for. But yeah, I mean, yeah, being a knight and going through the training, and although not everything was clean, like going off whenever you wanted to on a horse or stuff like that's cool stuff. So that's what I would do. That's where I would go.
Thanks, guys. We'll take a question right here.
Hi.
Hi. Hello, Klaus.
We got some here. So, 2 questions, one for the both of you and one for Robert. For the both of you, what would have been the most embarrassing thing to happen on set, behind the scenes? And for Robert, for Song of Sway Lake, what do you think happened to Nikolai after the boat ride?
Cameron, do you want to take that first one? Because I can't think of anything embarrassing.
Yeah. I think the most embarrassing thing was to have my dad sort of hold my hand and guide me because I couldn't see anything. And basically, the first prototypes of the masks, they were actually like, we were blind. We couldn't see anything. I mean, it was white and they improved it and it got so much better when the show started, but like walking around set, tripping over wires because we couldn't see anything, yeah, it was quite something. And like all you could see was just shadows, so I had no clue where I was.
Do you know what? The bit where I'm on a bus and I come off the bus with the time-traveling briefcase and smash it and like break down on the side of the road. That was quite embarrassing because like we were just like next to High Park on a street in Toronto. Do you know what I mean? There's like loads of people going, oh, where you found it? You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, you build a sort of a bond of trust between you and the faces that you see every day. So they're easier to delete from the middle distance, you know, because you get to know them and stuff. But then when like new people, lots of people are around, it just kind of, especially that emotional stuff, it makes it really hard. And Song of Sway Lake is a movie, a small film, lovely film where I play this kind of slightly psychotic Russian character up in the Adirondack Mountains. And at the end, I think he might die. I felt like he was on the edge of death at the end. And there was a number of endings. The guy who directed it is a bit of a lunatic, and he re-edited it many times. And the boat bit at the end was in, and then it wasn't in, and it was in, and I think I don't know. I felt like he might have popped his clogs at the end.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're gonna move on to the question here.
Hi. So I have my question written down because my memory is a bit botched, but I was wondering how much freedom did you have to explore your characters outside of the source text? So like, meaning did you use distinct mannerisms from the comics or have more freedom to explore Luther or Klaus?
You know, I learned from Tom. Watching Tom, basically, and I had spoken with Tom beforehand discussing the character. And I did read the comics, so I got inspiration from the comics as well. And you know, I sort of modeled like my character sort of off of Captain America, in the sense that the pride and you know like doing what's right and justice and all that. That's sort of what I was going for. And so I don't know if you remember, but in the first bank scene when we're taking on all the bad guys and we go outside and I do that thing. Yeah, I was just picturing Captain America in my head. That's what I was
I told my friends when I was watching, I was like,
Basically.
oh, Captain.
He could play the young Steve Rogers, for sure.
I would love to.
You just need to lose some weight.
So that's due a reboot any day now. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's interesting because Klaus in the comic book is described as someone who wouldn't look out of place as an extra in an Ingmar Bergman movie. You know, which isn't me, you know. That's, for anyone, like, that's tall, pale, and Scandinavian looking, do you know what I mean? So it kind of, it's a sort of, you kind of have to find, I mean, you can kind of texture yourself with the source material, but because the source material is a comic book, it's kind of, it's hard to kind of get your claws into it a bit. So I sort of started from scratch, really, you know. And I did a bunch of stuff, like I did like a visual diary, but I'm shit at drawing, to be honest. So it didn't go very well. I just me googling things and then copying them, like. But I was trying to draw things in character. I did a lot of automatic writing as Klaus, which is an interesting idea just to do as yourself. It's really interesting because if you just go, all these interesting things will come out. It's like an active meditation. So that helps in exploring a character. And then what else did I do? I filmed myself a lot, just in hotel rooms around Europe when we was doing a different job, which took us from Malaga and Barcelona. It was a sweet job, actually, that previous one. It was that Picasso show. And I just kind of filmed myself a lot, you know, kind of trying to figure out, like, a change in physicality, but every change having some sort of basis, you know what I mean? So that there's a sort of a thing in acting that, you know, people who over-intellectualize acting go on about called psychological shadowing, which is where every move or every physicality or every something has a psychological basis behind it, has reason, you know. It could be the trauma from when Klaus was in the mausoleum, that there was literally something that happened to him when he was so drenched in terror that it just affected, you know, so you start to kind of investigate what works and what doesn't, and there's a lot of, like, you know, acting is, it's tough, there's a lot of self-hatred involved in the development of the character and stuff. There's a lot of, you know, sort of turmoil, so, you know, just a lot of trial and error in that sense.
Yeah.
Thanks for your question.